Over 99% of what we see remains hidden from our senses. How can we tap into the unseen forces that make up reality, and how can we work with them to dramatically transform our lives? Find out in Season 2's first episode of New Earth Teachings. When we are looking at the nature of the unseen forces, what we are looking at is that which we cannot really perceive with our physical senses. We spend so much time enamored by everything we see, smell, taste, touch, and hear. But when we really look at physical reality in this way, it's really no more different than looking at the nature of the atom. That over 99.9% of the atom cannot be perceived. We're able to perceive it with its proton and its electrons, but we're not able to see a great deal of the atom. Well, the same thing goes with physical reality. We cannot see a great deal of true physical reality. There is not a single thing that exists that we are not interconnected with. When you are in your home, when you are with your family, when you're with your pets, your animals, when you're amongst a crowd, when you're out in nature, when you're looking up at the sky, when you're connecting with the stars, you are a part of it. It is not separate from you. So when we look into the nature of the unseen forces, they respond not through the idea of our physical senses, not through our physical perceptions, but they respond through our thoughts. They respond through our feelings. They respond through the pure-hearted intention that you have, which means the unseen forces can go to work, and they are not concerned about what you focus on that may be positive or negative. In order for us to understand the grand nature of creation, we have to learn to tap in a lot more to the realm where the unseen forces exist. Well, how do we do that? How is that done? Well, this is where we go into meditation. This is where you find a spot within your house where you know you will not be disturbed, one that's comfortable and pleasing for yourself. And we're going into meditation. As we go into meditation, we focus on the breath in a very, very simple practice. And so as I've been talking about the importance of breathing and working in meditation to helping you align yourself deeper with the unseen forces, just like the idea of the still lake example, I'm going to provide a sample practice meditation here through using breath work that you can work with, and this breath work is known commonly as heart rate variability. Again, stimulating the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. So we're just going to start off in a nice comfortable position, making sure your body is free of any tension, just getting yourself nice and relaxed. And we're just going to start off by focusing on the navel. And as we inhale, we're just doing an inhale as we can feel the entirety of the lungs, right up into the area of the collarbone. And then we exhale, and we're going to really feel that breath exhaling through our lungs and feeling it like it's emptying right down to the area of the navel. So you can follow along with me here, just as I use my finger and point upwards as I breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right down to the navel. Now, as this is an example, we don't do any pause breaths, either before the inhale, after the inhale, before the exhale, after the exhale. It is all one constant stream of breath. So let's do that together now. Inhale. Exhale. And we just repeat. We continue to repeat that. So as I'm inhaling, I'm feeling like all of the oxygen is just sitting right in my collarbone. And as I exhale, I feel the lungs emptying, and that breath is going all the way down to the bottom of the navel. So this is heart rate variability. Again, you are timing your breath, something very simple. And as you do this more often, you can start to increase the seconds of your inhale and increase the seconds of your exhale. Starting off very simply with 5 seconds inhale and a 6-second exhale. And what you are doing is you are stimulating the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. So we are not putting any breath breaks in between, before or after the breaths. As we continue to do this, as you do more repetitions, you're going to feel yourself going into a very strong state of tranquility. And that's all we're focusing on. We're just focusing on bringing the breath in, bringing the breath out, and you can just focus on counting. Focus on counting the breath. Focus on your breath rising right up into the area of the collarbone and exhaling, emptying those lungs, feeling that breath going all the way down to the navel. And just continue to repeat this process. As you practice this a lot more, you're going to move more into that state of stillness. As you get more into that state of stillness, you are again going to be aware of the power of your thought, the power of your feelings, the power of your emotions, as you yourself are now in stillness. When we're looking at the power of thought or the power of feeling, when it comes to the pure nature of consciousness, the idea of thought or feeling do not represent that of pure consciousness. Thought represents an instrument, a platform, when it comes to the mind. Feeling also represents an instrument or platform when it comes to the higher mind or higher reasoning. When we're looking at the nature of pure consciousness, it cannot be emphasized and it cannot be expressed, simply because the nature of pure consciousness is the creative, unseen forces. This is why we cannot perceive the imagery of pure consciousness. It is imperceivable. So what we have through ourselves, through human beings, is the platform, these instruments of thought and feeling. And when we're looking at the power of thought and through the power of feeling, we're looking at the nature of these coherencies, these magnetic fields. So when we have a thought, it enters into our mind instantly. It is not something that has traveled, but it is a magnetic. When we're looking at emotion, when we're looking at our feelings, it is something, again, instantaneous. It is a magnetism. I have termed this as being coherent. Well, what would represent the incoherence? One who feels fragile, one who is in grief, one who feels guilty, one who pretends that they feel strong and feels composed, but in actuality they're very fragmented and fragile. And this becomes the incoherent being, or the incoherent self. We have to understand that we are the only one here. In actuality, there is no other. That's right. There is no other. You are the only observer in your reality. There is no second observer, there is no third observer, and so forth. You have never been able to step into another person's shoes and observe their reality for them. That's not possible. There is and always shall be simply your observation as a creator, as a being. Most importantly, one of the most intense emotional states we come across is the fear of death. This is why we really don't do things. We are afraid to die. We're afraid that this is going to kill us, not so much on a physical sense, but on an identity level, on a personality level. I can't do that. I would feel indignant. I won't be able to do this type of work because it won't fit me. I'm not going to work. It's not going to work for me. I'm going to fail. I'm going to just fall apart if I do this. So it becomes identity crisis. And the identity crisis is started through that constant nagging feeling of the fear of death. So this is again the traits of an incoherent being, an incoherent self. Whereas the coherent self is strong. They are able to look at themselves, not through an intellectual standpoint, but through the greater mind. And the unseen forces represent that magnetism, that force of the greater mind. That force that represents Creator. That force that represents the creative energies, that represents God. You are God, and God is you. And therefore, looking at it in that context, when you truly realize this, because that's what it takes for you to realize, to know that you are God, to therefore be one with the creative forces. The unseen forces, the creative forces, are now together at your beck and call, and you are aware of them. And when you have that power, when you have that strength, when you have that composure, when you have that true creative force flowing through you, you are completely and totally coherent. You work with the platforms, the instruments of thoughts, of emotions, of feelings, because now you realize I am Creator. I am the center of my universe. I am the sovereign of my reality. And I can bring in whatever I desire. I can create whatever I desire. I can bring the type of people to me with whomever I desire. This is where you're standing upon that podium and about to sit down on your throne. Now we're going to look into a demonstration of the 5-minute focus. So again, with the 5-minute focus, with your eyes closed, when you start going into heart rate variability breathing, right? 5 seconds in, 6 seconds out, and just repeating that, going into that breathing repetition, feeling yourself more relaxed, more tranquil. You're stilling the pond, you're stilling the lake. And as that lake becomes stilled, this is where you're focusing on an image. This is where you have an impression within your mind. And that image, that very impression that you are able to feel within yourself, has a meaning behind it. And that meaning can be absolutely anything that you wish. So right now, just close your eyes. Let's do a little bit of that heart variability. Inhaling for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Down to the navel. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up to the collarbone. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just feel that tranquility around you. Feel the calmness. Feel the center. Feel yourself stilling the waters. And now you're going to create an image within your mind. This image can be anything that you feel is appropriate with a theme of manifestation that you want to bring into your life. In this example, we'll take a look at financial abundance. So we're going to see a simple dollar sign in this screen within your mind. And you will see that dollar sign. And maybe you see a lot of beautiful clouds just behind that dollar sign. You're able to see the clouds moving, and you're just focusing on that dollar sign. And this dollar sign example represents a significance to the theme of manifestation that you want to bring in regarding financial abundance, financial success, or success altogether. And you're simply focusing on this example of an image for 5 minutes. So if this feels very tranquil, very easy to you, then that's what you're focusing on for a total of 5 minutes. And then you conclude that image meditation, that 5-minute focus, and you go about your day. And now you can come back to it later on, and you can do it again. It's very important that we release that image once we have concluded our 5-minute focus meditation with it. This is so we can send that off to the unseen forces. You are telling the unseen forces in your mind, this is how it is. This is already happening with me. I'm already seeing myself with financial abundance, financial success, success altogether. So with that image comes that feeling. It's that feeling where you feel very joyful, very happy that this financial abundance is here. You're feeling it as if it's already happening. That's the secret to the 5-minute focus. Looking back into this episode, it is very important to understand that the unseen forces truly are a part of yourself, that there is never anything within yourself that is separate from who you are here as a person, to your own home, to the people within your life, to your environment, stretching beyond this planet into the entire universe. Everything is a part of you. Yet it's also important to understand that you are the only one here. As you're the only one here, you are the creator. You are the center. You are the sovereign of every form of manifestation, of every event that you have ever experienced. You've been the architect, you've been the writer, you've been the director of all of those experiences. The unseen forces working together, showing you through reality what you are capable of as a masterful creator. I'm Brad Johnson. Thank you so much for tuning in to New Earth Teachings, and I will see you again in the next episode.